Happy hump day, happy hump day. Hope everybody's doing amazing. Okay, I want to talk about a really important topic today. Really important topic. I want to talk about the rise of hysterectomies. Now, if you've had fibroids, if you've had polyps, if you've had any type of reproductive health issue, heavy bleeding, you've probably heard, hey, everybody coming in, hope you guys are doing amazing. You've probably heard about, a hysterectomy. You've probably been, told by your doctor that you should get a hysterectomy if you have any of these reproductive health issues, okay? Whether it's heavy bleeding, fibroids, endometriosis, I'm sure you've probably heard, hey, just get a hysterectomy and everything will be okay. But I'm here to tell you that that's not necessarily the case, okay? And in recent years, the rise of hysterectomies is just astronomical at this point. You even have women in their 20s going for a hysterectomy or being told that they need a hysterectomy in order to find relief from endometriosis or heavy bleeding. And this is very, it's the wrong advice. That's what I want to say. And we oftentimes don't talk about, the risks associated with hysterectomies. We don't talk about what is going on the back end, because we just hear, oh, it's so amazing that you don't have a uterus anymore. You're not going to deal with heavy bleeding or all these other things, but that is not the case, okay? So just a little bit about myself. My name is Sasha Rosa. I'm a holistic women wellness specialist, and what I do is I help women who have fibroids, infertility, who are going through infertility, who are going through endometriosis, heavy bleeding. I help them engage in everyday healthy habits in order to heal their wombs, in order to utilize holistic methods of healing, okay? Because we've only been told one side of healing, which is, well, not really healing, but we only been told one side, which is, the medications, the surgeries, but we haven't been shown another side, okay? So what I do is I help women, because what you do on a daily basis matters. The choices that we make on a daily basis matters, contrary to popular belief, okay? So, what you eat, what you drink, the thoughts that you think, all of that stuff really matters, okay? So it's really important for us to realize that. So when we're talking about hysterectomy, in the U.S. now, about 600,000 hysterectomies are performed. Over 600,000 hysterectomies are performed annually, every single year. And this has not improved our health, as a whole when it comes to women, especially because, of course, heart disease is the number one killer. This has not improved our health, our well-being, our emotional health at all. This has actually made things worse. And this is what a lot of people don't talk about, is the emotional implications of having a hysterectomy. So when you remove an important organ like the uterus, because the uterus is not just for creating a baby, there's so many other functions of the uterus. So when you remove a very important organ, then there's a high chance of you getting things like heart disease. There's a higher chance of you getting certain cancers. There's a higher chance of you having, lots issues with, constipation and all these other things that women who have hysterectomies are going through, okay? So it's really important to know all the implications and know not just the pros about it, but also the cons. And some women are being told that this is their only option. They're not being presented with other options. They're not being presented with, more natural options. They're not being presented with that. Okay. So for example, I had a client earlier this year who had a fibroid, and it was, really getting in the way of her everyday life. And it was, painful, and it was, she was dealing with heavy bleeding. And they told her the only option she had was a hysterectomy. They, they just went straight to hysterectomy. They didn't even go to the myomectomy. And she was very depressed about having to get rid of her womb because she didn't want to. And then somehow, I guess she found me, joined my program, and then ended up canceling her hysterectomy within weeks in the program because she started feeling better. And here's the thing. I know that some hysterectomies have to be performed to save a woman's life, right? But it's said that less than 10% of hysterectomies are actually to save a woman's life. Like less than 10% of hysterectomies are actually very unnecessary. Like less than 10% of hysterectomies, are necessary. The rest are unnecessary and for benign conditions such as fibroids, such as endometriosis, such as, polyps, heavy bleeding. Here's the thing, but these things can be resolved naturally. Okay. And the fact that women are, being told that they have no choice but to have a hysterectomy is scary. Okay. And then also too, like I said earlier, they don't talk about the health implications that come along with a hysterectomy. You have women who are having issues with orgasm, or issues with constipation, who have had hysterectomies, right, and other things. And if you guys are on this and you've had a hysterectomy, maybe you can share your experience as well. But and also too, for women that have endometriosis, that's a popular quote unquote cure for endometriosis is a hysterectomy, but that has been shown to not even cure endometriosis, okay? And did you know that women can still bleed after having hysterectomies as well? So it's scary, and it's, you know, it's almost makes you think, is there like, what is this propaganda, like, you know, about hysterectomies? Why has there been a rise in hysterectomies? Because we can see this is not improved women's health. This actually has made things worse. So what is this rise, and why are women in their 20s now being told that they should have hysterectomies? Okay, I almost think that, especially if, you know how they set up women to do multiple myomectomies, because they, like I always say, myomectomy, when you remove the fibroids, it doesn't get to the root cause of the problem. So it's almost like they set up women to continuously do these myomectomies so they can just get tired and say, you know what, let me just take out my entire uterus, right? But here's the thing, in any other specialty, when there's a diseased tissue, what they do is they take that diseased portion out. They don't remove the entire organ. So why are they removing the entire organ when it comes to women's reproductive, you know, organs, when it comes to the uterus? It's almost like a slap in the face to women as a whole. You know, why do they think that our uteruses are useless organs unless we want to have a child? And there's many women who, you know, have not had children and want to have children. They're still trying to coerce into having a hysterectomy, and I just think that's very sad. Yeah, the food is different. Hey, Marsh. Yeah, so it's very, very sad. The whole system is very sad, and I feel like I said, when it comes to women's health, you know, OBGYNs, they have really failed women as a whole. And then let's not even talk about women that go under the knife for things like a myomectomy to remove fibroids or other issues, and then they end up giving them a hysterectomy because they said that, oh, you're losing too much blood, or whatever the reason may be. And it's just, you know, it's very, very unfortunate. A lot of women have had their dreams of wanting to be a mother just literally snatched, you know, from it's horrible. It's horrible. And I feel like more needs to be done, and there should be implications. And did you ladies know that 30% of women that have hysterectomies, you know, encounter complications? So it's very serious. Like, if I'm sure if more of this information was out in the forefront, more women will avoid these surgeries, right? When it comes to fibroids, when it comes to heavy bleeding, ladies, we can heal naturally. We don't have to go to these like extreme measures when it comes to, you know, our uterine health. We don't have to go through these extreme measures. We don't have to remove our entire organ, right? We don't have to do that. And I always use this example. If you had heart disease, you would not remove your entire heart, would you? Well, hopefully you wouldn't, because you would be dead. But what you would do is you would try your best to, you know, make some lifestyle changes, diet changes, maybe lose weight if you have to lose weight, right? You know, drink more water, rebalance your hormones. Do that first instead of just going to, like, you know, have a hysterectomy, you know? So why don't we do that when it comes to fibroids, when it comes to heavy bleeding, things that can be resolved naturally, okay? Heavy bleeding can be resolved within a matter of days naturally. I've done it with my clients. So what's this push for there being a hysterectomy? And also too, why are we not being told that even in hysterectomies that you can still have bleeding? Women still have experienced bleeding post hysterectomy, okay? So this whole thing with, you know, pushing, and, you know, they call it hysterectomy surgical menopause, because literally you're pushed into early menopause when you have a hysterectomy, and then you're on hormones. You're probably gonna be on hormones because, again, your hormones are gonna be chaotic afterwards, because you're taking out a major part of an important part of your body. You may not need your uterus to live, but you still need it to be healthy. You still need it to, because our body is interconnected, contrary to popular belief. So you're doing yourself a disservice when you remove an organ as important as the uterus, okay? So I really encourage everybody on here, if you're having issues with bleeding, if you're having issues with, you know, or bleeding for long periods of time, or fibroids, right, or endometriosis or adenomyosis, or any other type of uterine issue, I encourage you to embrace natural methods of healing, okay? And not just, you know, go to drastic measures such as surgery or birth control that's not going to get to the root cause of the problem, right? For example, if your body developed fibroids, right, or heavy bleeding, that's indicating there's a hormonal issue. There's a estrogen dominance, right? You have estrogen dominance. which means that your estrogen and your progesterone are imbalanced, right? The progesterone is too low, the estrogen levels are too high. So this creates an imbalance in the body and creates the environments for fibroids to develop, for polyps to develop, for, different reproductive health issues to develop, right? So when we have a hysterectomy, we don't take out the estrogen dominance. We just remove the organ, right? But we don't remove the hormonal imbalance, the backed up, accumulation of waste. We don't remove that stuff. It's still there. So then what happens? It manifests into something else, another estrogen dominant issue. And this is why talk to women who've had hysterectomies and ask them about their health. Okay? Because when you have hysterectomies, again, this can affect, this can affect you on so many levels, like incontinence. We're talking about prolapse. We're talking about, just nerve damage, chronic constipation, heart disease. You're 4 times as likely to have, congestive heart failure when you've had a hysterectomy. Did you know that? Like chronic fatigue, insomnia, all these hormonal issues, right? That women and imagine women that are younger. They say that women who have hysterectomies when they're younger, before 40, they're actually putting themselves more at risk for, I hate to say, but an early death, because you have to understand, when you take a major part of your organ out and you're not making any type of lifestyle changes, you're not making, I'm not saying that if you had a hysterectomy, you're going to die early, but I'm just saying if you have not made any lifestyle changes, if you just have treated that hysterectomy as a, you think that you're cured. No, you're not. You have to do the work to, if you've already had a hysterectomy, do the work to balance your hormones naturally instead of being on all these supplements and pills. Well, I didn't know that my mother had hers removed. Okay, well, I would say encourage your mom to actually engage in healthy lifestyle habits, so she's not impacted by, heart disease and all these other health implications, okay? So if you have a family member, because I think almost everybody has a family member who's had a hysterectomy, right? Who's been coerced into having hysterectomies. So make sure you encourage them to, implement healthy habits. Like a hysterectomy is not a cure for anything. It's literally just removing your organ, your uterus. So we should encourage women around us, the younger generation or ourselves, that we want to heal our organs. We don't want to take them out. Let's heal them, because you can heal your uterus, right? We don't want to remove things. We want to heal our organs, okay? Just like if something was wrong with your heart, I would hope that you're trying to heal it, right? So if we know that, our body's interconnected, right? And that if there's an issue with one part of our body, this is going to affect other parts of our body, then we have to, like I said, start treating our temple right. We have to stop neglecting ourselves and stop neglecting our health. I had endometriosis and my doctor asked me to remove I told her no, because I heard about the hormone imbalance. Thank you. Yes, friend in love. Absolutely. Because if you have endometriosis, there's a hormonal imbalance, right? There's a heavy inflammation in the body, and that does not go away with the hysterectomy. And also too, endometriosis, a lot of people still encounter endometriosis even with, having a hysterectomy, because it's not a cure, right? Because the endometrial tissue and all that stuff can be outside of the uterus. So, really, really important for you to understand. I've had many clients who have eliminated and shrunk. I post, you guys know I post. If you follow me, I post things on my stories and even on my page all the time. I've had women shrink and eliminate their fibroids, reverse PCOS, also with heavy bleeding. I've had women who are bleeding for long periods of time literally stop and reset their cycle. Okay, I've helped them stop the bleeding and be able to reset their cycle. I had a client who was bleeding for 21 days every single month, and her doctors couldn't tell her anything, right? They was just like, well, we'll just do surgery. And I told her, let's do this the natural way. She joined my program, we talked about your womb program, and literally within days, before she was in the program, she was in the emergency room, but literally when she joined the program, within days, I was able to help her stop the bleeding and reset her cycle, okay? And now even her blood pressure and everything has gone down to normal levels. She finally feels able to sleep through the night. Her stress has decreased. She's a lot happier. So this really does make an impact, right? When our womb isn't right, it's misaligned, when it's not, functioning the way it should, that has an impact on us as a whole, as far as for women, right? That's why I say our bodies are interconnected. Your womb is connected to your brain. Did you know that? Exactly. So it's really important for you to realize and take your health seriously. Take your womb health seriously. If you're having chaotic periods, right? Heavy periods, if you had fibroids, this is a reflection of what's going on inside internally health-wise. So you have to ask yourself, like, you know, this also is a reflection of your hormonal balance. Like, you have to ask yourself, am I really taking care of myself? Am I taking care of my body? Am I, you know, and this could be, again, stress levels have an impact on your womb health, your eating habits, okay? Also, what kind of lifestyle are you living? Are you in toxic environments? Are you in, like, what type of lifestyle are you living? Are you drinking alcohol? Are you dehydrating your body? Okay, because are you getting enough sleep? Like, all these things have an impact on our hormones. And as women we're very hormonal. We're very affected by our hormones. Hormones. So it's really important. And if there's a hormonal imbalance, this creates the environment for heavy bleeding. This creates the environment for ovarian cysts, for endometriosis, right? All this stuff is from inflammation in the body. It can be resolved, and it can also be prevented. Just because your parents or your mom or your aunt has it does not mean you have to get it, okay? So a hysterectomy is not a cure for anything, because you have to understand, yes, if they remove your uterus, you may not have fibroids anymore, but what's going on in your body? That hormonal balance is still there. That inflammation is still there. That accumulation of waste is still there in your body. It hasn't gone anywhere. So what did you really do? And that's why after hysterectomy, you see all these health issues, women having all these health issues, okay? So I encourage you, if you're listening to this, do not remove your uterus, okay? Heal your organs. Do not remove them. And like I said earlier, in any other part of the body, if there's a diseased part of the body, they take the diseased portion out, the diseased tissue out. They don't just remove the entire organ, okay? And they don't put men through this, okay? So the fact that they're putting women through this, removing their uteruses at such large numbers, and the fact that Black women are actually 4 times as likely to have a hysterectomy than any other group of women, that in itself should tell you what's really going on. Okay, I don't want to get too much into that should tell you what's really going on and what they really think about your womb. Okay, so we have, like I said, women being told as young as in their 20s that they should have a hysterectomy. I was told that at one point. Thank God I did not listen. Thank God I healed myself on my own. So really, really important. So if you're listening to this and you've been told, that you need a hysterectomy, you've been tempted, but there's a piece of you, a little piece of you telling you don't do it, and inside, deep inside, that it's not the right decision, okay? And you've been wanting to explore a natural healing protocol, okay? Be sure to click the link in my bio. You can join my email list. I also have an amazing program called the Detoxify Your Womb program, where I work with you for 3 months, okay? And I work with you on healing your womb. I work with you on detoxifying your organs, because if you've had these reproductive health issues, you have backed up organs, restoring your hormonal balance, flooding your body with, nutrients, because a lot of us are lacking nutrients, and also, flooding your body with hydration on a cellular level, and helping you adjust your lifestyle habits as well, and also having detoxification as well, so you can heal naturally. And you don't have to go through all these, these surgery, hysterectomy, myomectomy, whatever, right? You don't have to go under the knife, and you can feel a sense of health and vitality, okay? And you feel this in all areas of your life. Like when you are healthy, when your womb is healthy, you just feel happier. When your hormones are in alignment, okay? When they're not all over the place, you feel happier. You feel more whole. You're not. A lot of people don't know that things like depression and anxiety come from hormonal imbalance, right? Because when you have reproductive health issues, a lot of women that are, going through depression and anxiety due to the hormones being out of whack. When your estrogen levels are high, that wreaks havoc on the body. And you may think, okay, well, I'm a little older. My estrogen levels are not high, are low. However, if you have no progesterone in your body, or it's little to none, then you still have what they call estrogen dominance, okay? So, and that's, again, when you have estrogen dominance, the symptoms are just crazy. It can be from fibroids to heavy bleeding, to reoccurring yeast infections and things, all the way up to breast cancer, uterine cancer, ovarian cancer. These are estrogen dominant cancers, okay? Even infertility. Infertility is estrogen dominance is the highest cause for infertility. And again, it's just things that we don't learn in doctor's offices. Okay, so but just do your research and look up estrogen dominance and what it does to the body. Okay, it's responsible for insulin resistance, high blood pressure, you name it. And we know that heart disease is the #1 killer, right? It's also responsible for cardiovascular issues. Okay, so I'm telling you this right now that then yes. So make sure you stick around. I mean, if you guys join my email list, I sent out a free video once you join my email list on estrogen dominance and fibroids and all the signs and symptoms. And there's women that have told me when I put that out, I literally have all the signs of estrogen dominance. I used to have a lot of the signs as well, but all the stuff is reversible. You can restore hormonal balance in your body. Did you know that your body is a powerful, very, very powerful mechanism, and that it can heal if you provide the environment for it to do so, but it needs your help. Your womb can heal if you provide the environment for it to do so, but it needs your help. You can't continue to put things in it, to destroy it, to destroy your body, to, accumulate waste and all this stuff that it's not supposed to have, right? You can't continue to do that and think that that's going to, make you healthy and happy and heal. No, right? What we put in comes out. So if we're putting all this junk in our body, if we're not taking care of ourselves, that's going to come out. And that's going to affect our womb health. That's going to affect, our periods, because your menstrual cycle is your body's 5th vital sign. If you are a woman, your menstrual cycle is your body's 5th vital sign. So that's literally showing you if you have this heavy bleeding, cramps, all these things going on, that's showing you what's going on the inside. So where your health is, that's your health status. It's giving you a report, right? Every 4 weeks we get a report of what have you been doing? What current state is your health in? Sad, we should learn this in junior high. Thank you. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do. So you ladies can pass this on to your daughters. I've had women that told me that, look, their daughters were having, a rough time with their menstrual cycle, and they've been able to, with learning from me, been able to help their daughters with that and have better their daughters' menstrual cycle. So they're not in school in pain and going through all the stuff that I went through and probably some of you guys went through. When you're so much pain and you're a teenager, we have so many other things to worry about than being in pain every single month. Some women are in pain every day due to, like I said, fibroids, endometriosis. Some of these things get so bad that you can be in pain every single day. I've stopped eating cheese completely. Absolutely. I love it. Just cut out the dairy, because that's like literally destroying our wombs. If you're listening to this, cut out the dairy. But I'm proud of you, Tanisha. And I know that's hard. Trust me, I had a hard time with cheese too. I had a hard time with meat too. But listen, I will not trade how I feel now and how I felt within these last 10 years for anything. Because I remember, dealing with heavy bleeding. I remember all that stuff I used to deal with, the fibroids, the this, the that. It wasn't worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You can't pay me to go back. Okay? Yeah, very hard. So we want our bodies, we want our wombs to heal naturally. We don't want to, like I said, do these surgeries. We don't want to take out our womb, especially as women, right? We don't want to take out our womb. Because your womb health is there for a reason. God gave you that for a reason. God didn't give it to you to let some doctor snatch it out of you and do what with it exactly. You don't know. You don't know. Okay? I ate a slice of pizza and my stomach was on fire. Oh yeah, when you let go of dairy and if you ever go back to it, it will mess you up even more. So once you let it go, just let it go for good. Because then once you start eating healthier, you'll know what these foods are really doing to you. Once you start eating healthier and you go even a little bit back, because that's what my clients say as well. You was like, oh my gosh, like you start to see what effect these foods are really having on you. My clients always say when they go back to, if they even try to go back to their old foods, they're like, their body just rejects it completely and like, okay? So if you ladies are interested in working with me as far as, healing your body, your womb naturally, whether you have heavy bleeding, okay, whether you have endometriosis, fibroids, I've helped clients with all of these issues, fertility issues as well, because that's another thing that's on the rise, okay, then please click the link in my bio. If you want to work with me on a 3-month basis, you could check out my Detoxify Your Womb program. It's an amazing 3-month program and but be prepared to transform your entire life, not just let go of certain things. Entire lifestyle transformation, diet transformation, you got to be ready. Now, I will help you through the process, of course, as your coach or your specialist, but you have to be ready to do the work. You got to be ready. Like, look, I'm ready. I'm tired of suffering and I'm ready for a change. And I don't want you guys to just think, just think, as far as we think so short term when it comes to our health and how we want to feel, you want to think long term. Where do you want to be in 10 years? You want to, I don't want to, like when I think 10 years from now, do you want to be suffering from fibroids? Do you want to be, dealing with heavy bleeding? Do you want to be, because these type of things have a disruption on your entire life. Let's be honest, like disruption on your relationships, your sex life, your jobs, your dating life. Let's be real. These things have a disruption on our entire life. They're not just affecting you during your cycle sometimes, right? Because some women are so much in pain that this is affecting them even 2 weeks before their cycle. They're dealing with all these premenstrual issues. That's a hormonal imbalance. That's not normal. Your periods are supposed to be 3 to 4 days, light, no heavy bleeding. Just because when I work with my clients, that's what happens. Once we restore balance back into their body, that's what happens. They don't deal with these long, week-long, heavy cycles. Then you're bleeding in between cycles. They don't deal with that stuff. Okay? And pain, all that stuff is a reflection of what's going on in your body, a reflection of the heavy levels of inflammation in your body. Okay? So I didn't want this live to be super long, but all in all, I want to say, don't get hysterectomy. Don't let them remove your uterus, okay? There's natural ways to heal the body. There's natural ways to heal the womb. And remember, if you have a womb issue, an issue with your reproductive health, this is a full body issue. It's not just a uterine issue. And I always say this because women forget this. It's a hormonal issue. You're dealing with liver issues as well because, again, your liver is your body's master detoxifier. So if you're having issues with the womb, that means your liver is not, is not processing these excess waste and excess hormones. So what's going on in the body? Everything's backed up. Your digestive system is backed up. Okay, so this is a reflection of what's going on in your body. Stagnation is going through the body if we're dealing with tumors. We're dealing with heavy bleeding. Okay, so if you're interested, join us. Okay, we have 3 more months left till 2024. Okay, 3 more months. The program is 3 months long, so if you want to walk into 2024 a new woman, okay, and you want me to be your coach, and you want me to coach you through that, click on the link in my bio, check out the Detoxify Your Womb program. We would love to help you through the process of healing your body, healing your womb, becoming a brand new woman, okay? So any of you guys have any questions before I go, I'll be contacting you to collaborate. Okay. I have several clients dealing with so many menstrual issues. This is not my specialty, especially even though I do holistic herbs. Okay, yeah, definitely reach out to me. I would love to help. Yes, reach out to me. That'd be awesome. Okay, if nobody else has any questions, I'm gonna go, but I just want to send you guys this, encourage you guys. I'm tired of hearing of 22-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds having hysterectomies. It scares me. I don't like it, and I want the awareness to be put out there to know that you don't have to go down that route, ladies. Even if you don't want to have children ever, that's totally fine. But this is not only about that. This is about you having your organs, right? You have a right to have the organs that you were born with, and you healing your body. Right? Nobody has the right to take that away from you. Now, if you have a serious condition where this is a hysterectomy is saving your life, then I totally understand. However, in majority of situations, that is not the case. We're having our uterus taken from us from heavy bleeding, things that can be resolved naturally within days. Okay, so that's all I want to say. Love you guys. Have a good one. Thank you so much for being on this live. And if you have any questions about the Detoxify Your Womb program or just in general, make sure you reach out to me. Okay, bye.